Hi, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my second installment of the last 5 graphic novels that I read. Since I read 5 graphic novels, I thought I'd do a second one. But I'll just get into it. The first one I read is The Way of the House Husband by Kosuke Owono. This is a gag manga. I've never heard of, I've read manga before, but I've never heard of a gag manga. I guess the reason it's called a gag manga. Sorry, I keep mixing up my long A's and my short A's. I guess the reason it's called a gag manga is because it's funny, and it was really funny. It was pretty hilarious. It's about this guy who used to be Yakuza, and he retired and married, and he's now a house husband, but he keeps running into situations where people recognize him as I think his name was the dragon, or some kind of dragon, and it's really funny. There's a cat, and he makes food, and he's always got like a butcher knife in his hand, and people are like, ah! It's really, really cute. I just found this randomly in my library, and so I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars, so I recommend it. The next one I read was, and this is probably my favorite of the bunch, Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Osmond. This is the cutest book on the planet. Can there be a cuter book than Heartstopper? I really highly doubt it. So this is about 2 boys who form a beautiful friendship and maybe something more. Nick and Charlie. This is Charlie, I believe. I haven't read it in a while, and I have the second volume. But I'm pretty sure this is Charlie, and his last name is Spring, and this is Nick. And Charlie he's openly gay at school, and he kind of gets flack for it. But Nick is a rugby player, and they get sat together in class one day and form a friendship, and it's so cute. Let me show you some of the art. Here we go. It's so adorable, and Alice Osmond puts so much work into this. Like at the back, you can see that it has some student profiles of them, and it tells you their Hogwarts house, which makes me so happy. And there is a bunch of diary entries. There's a mixtape, and I haven't listened to all the songs yet, but I plan to. And it's my favorite graphic novel of all time, probably, and I just love it so much. The reason that it's hyped on BookTube so much is because it deserves to be, because it's beautiful and sweet, and it'll make your life just so much better. The third graphic novel / manga that I read was The Girl from the Other Side by Nagabe, and this was very, very cute. It's short. All manga are pretty short, but it's about this little girl who gets abandoned in these woods. There's an inside and an outside, and the inside is where people are safe and they can't catch the curse. The outside is where you catch the curse and you turn into that dude, like what he looks like. And so he finds the little girl and he takes care of her, like she calls him teacher. And they have tea parties, and the people from the inside are very scared of the curse and think that she's scary and try to kill her, and it's just it's wild. Let me show you some of the art. She's such a sweet little bean. Look at her. How could you ever want to hurt her or leave her? And she's just like the cutest baby, and I love her so much. And he's so nice, and he just takes really good care of her. And oh my gosh, look at her. She's such a baby. Ugh. And it's just the cutest ever. And he's pretty rad looking. He looks like a demon. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this. I'm really glad I got it. I gave this 4 stars, and I think I gave Heartstopper 5 stars. If I could give Heartstopper more than 5 stars, I would. The next thing I read was a NetGalley e-arc, and I got approved for this, and I had no idea that I was going to get approved for this, because I had been looking for, so on my Hoopla app, you know, they have the comics section, and I go through there and browse and look through for comics to read, or like graphic novels to read, and they had individual issues of Something is Killing the Children. That's what it's called, and I don't like reading individual issues, even though people who do are like saints, because you're supporting the comic creators. I just don't have the patience to go from individual volume to individual volume, or individual issue to individual issue. So I prefer to read the bind-ups. So when I searched in the like comics and graphic novel section of NetGalley, I saw this and I was so excited. So this is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 1 by James Tynion IV, illustrated by Werther Dell'Edera, and colored by Miguel Muerto. And this was so good. So it's about this town where children are being slaughtered, like horribly ripped apart and eaten. And there's this woman who comes to town. Her name is Erica Slaughter, and she's there too. She's a monster killer, and it's basically like her and this boy who all his friends died, and everybody thinks he killed them, and then this other guy whose sister was taken, but her body hasn't turned up. All 3 of them kind of team up to find these monsters and kill them, and it's just really good. Like, I don't know, I can't express like how much I enjoyed this. It was so crazy, and like it's really gory. So if you don't like gore, I would not recommend it. It's child gore, which is like worse. But I think the whole thing of children dying is pretty taboo, but this book just kind of ignores that and like charges on ahead and is like ready to tell the story, and I appreciated that, because, you know, breaking taboo can be difficult, but this book is just like, what the fuck, we're gonna do it anyway. And it was really compelling. Like, the whole story was really awesome. It was really awesome. I just really liked it. And then the next book I read, or the last one I should say, is Nailbiter Volume 1, and I will tell you who made it because they never put it on the front. The story was by Joshua Williamson, art by Mike Henderson, colors by Adam Kuzowski, letters and book design by John J. Hill, and edited by Rob Levin. So yeah, this was gifted to me by Amy from All the Lovely Books in February for Bookish Cupid, and I was so glad. I mean, these are so expensive, and I think that she's so great for sending it to me. And it was really good. At first I didn't think I was going to like it, because the art isn't really my style. I like brighter art. Like, if it's not black and white, I like it to be super colorful. This was not super colorful. This is like, here, I'll show you. It's kind of not monotone, but it's mostly in neutrals, and like this. It's really dark, and that's not really my style, but the story was just so good. Like, okay, so there's this town called Buckaroo, Oregon, and 16 serial killers have been born from that town, and so there's people think there's a curse. And the most recent serial killer, and the one who really started this legend, was named Nailbiter Warren. And these two cops, Carol and Finch, were on the case, or Carol was at least. But Carol contacts Finch from Buckaroo and says, I need your help with something. I think I cracked the curse of Buckaroo. So Finch drives out there and Carol is nowhere to be found. So he teams up with a sheriff named what is her name? Crane. Sheriff Crane. So he teams up with Sheriff Crane and they kind of look for Carol and they find out all these secrets and people are dying and it's like so good and I loved it. I really did not expect to love it, but I gave it 5 stars. And it's really gory, so that's another thing that probably is a content warning. I wouldn't read it if you don't like gore. But it's just, there's so many twists and turns, and it left kind of on the cliffhanger, so I'm really, really tempted to buy the next volume, even though it's like $13. Like, ugh! So expensive. But for good reason, because there's art, it requires art, coloring, lettering, story. But yeah, I really, 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 really liked this. And I highly recommend it to people who won't be put off by the gore. Same with Something is Killing the Children. If you're not put off by gore and child death, which most people you should be put off. But like, if you're not put off by child death in fiction, then I would recommend Something is Killing the Children and Nailbiter Volume 1. So yeah, those were the 5 graphic novels / manga that I read lately. Tell me down below in the comments if you've read any of these, if any of these sound good to you, or some of the last graphic novels that you've read so that I can pick them up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!